minutes early. That's okay because I have to get a drink. But I'm 3 minutes early. It's a record. It's a Festivus for the rest of us. So we're going to talk about some of Charlie's calls, and then we should, oh my goodness, the ad for this video came flying on. I have to give the link to our guest. But before we do that, I'm going to grab a glass of ice. I sound like Scooter now with the freaking glass of ice. And I'll put that on. The jury thought we were terrible people. They did. They thought we were terrible people. I believe that jury thought that. Okay. Coming back around. All right. Let's see, am I on time now? Let's drop my spoon here. All right, let's see now if I am on time now. Now I am just on time. Let me go to the live chat. Where are you, live chat? No. Let me get rid of that. There's my live chat. Okay, there you are. And good. Hello, Margot. Hello, Deborah. Hi, Farm Wife. Hi, Nightbot. Hi, Top Chat. Let me go to live chat. So anyway, I have been doing a lot today. It's 32 degrees. We lost electricity last night, shortly after I logged off, which is a good thing that I logged off when I did. We didn't get it back until sometime this morning. But I got a lot of work done. I got a lot of packages shipped out. The rest of the packages are shipping out. If you've ordered something from me, please look for a payment request. And the only person I have yet to finish is Christiane. Christiane, there's already a couple of payment requests in there, either for things that you bought for people or that Juicy Couture bag you got for me a while back. Still a payment request on that. And then I'm going to tomorrow finish up You're the Last Person I Have Here and get all of that. And I'd really like to get it all shipped out tomorrow. So if you're listening, if you could take care of that, that would be great. And there's a couple of things that your stuff and everything shipped out. And then there was that pair of earrings that you bought. I'm just going to hold those until, you get other things, because I just realized that. And there was also a little figurine that you bought for Sharon, and Sharon's stuff is all packaged and shipped. I think, Jimmy shipped it today. So I'll just hold that. But other than that, I've got everything else out. So I'm really glad with that. Okay. And I'll go through and make sure that I've billed everybody, but I think I did. Anyway, let's talk about these jail phone calls. So I'm going to start going through some of the ones that I listened to today, okay? So today I was listening to his call with this guy, Mike. Mike's got a very thick accent. And Mike didn't even know that Charlie was convicted. So he called him like basically on November 7th, the day after he was convicted. And, you know, he says, let me see. He goes, hey, man, you know, what are you doing? He says, I was convicted on all counts. And they talked about an appellate lawyer and how Georgia did the closing statements. You know, Charlie can't understand that Georgia Cappleman, you know, who the heck is she to put up autopsy photos? He's very, very upset about that. Georgia Cappleman put up autopsy photos and that she put them up on the big screen. Very, very upset. And he's very, very upset that she was allowed to make these closing statements because the judge said this is not evidence, but she went ahead, according to Charlie, and made this 2-hour show, like Dateline, he said. And then Dan, his attorney, had a chance to speak, but then the prosecution got another 45 minutes, and nobody was listening when Dan was speaking. Nobody was taking notes. So, but he's very, very upset about these autopsy photos. And he's very upset that she refers to Ryan Fitzpatrick as his best friend, and that you can get away with murder if you keep your mouth shut. Apparently, what Ryan Fitzpatrick said that Charlie told him. And then he says now, you know, they didn't do this with evidence. This wasn't with evidence. She used my mom's emails and my sister's book, and she twisted them, and she twisted us to be the worst people on the effing planet. Yeah, so my mom called Dan, Markel, he's talking about, an a-hole. That doesn't mean we're going to kill the guy. All the text messages, the transcripts of all the wires, and she took everything out of context. And he said, I was not arrested for 6 years because I'm innocent. But just a couple of crazy coincidences, you know, like Wendi driving by the crime scene, literally right after Dan Markel was killed. That's a crazy coincidence. It's just a crazy coincidence. The TV stuff is all crazy coincidences. And he says she did a 2-hour closing with the autopsy photos and the text messages, and the jury hated me. It was horrible. They took 2 hours, and then my attorney took an hour, and then the state had another 45 minutes. And the jury, they wouldn't even make eye contact with me. For 6 years, I was free. I stayed. I had no reason to run. I talked to my parents about all the stuff they need to do for my son, he says. Like, I am dead, literally dead. The only thing to do once convicted is appeal for a new trial, and getting a new trial in Tallahassee is a joke. If they moved it even to a small town, maybe. We knew what we were going into because they have to share all the discovery, but they twisted it. If they had real evidence, it would not have taken 6 years. You know, they just painted a picture, and they used things like Wendy's ex-boyfriend, and the jury is not going to believe a rich white woman. Then he says, I had 5 African-American women. The people I had to eliminate. The people I had to eliminate were horrible. One guy was an alternate, and he said he would have acquitted me. He was a successful guy with a good job, not some poor, low-class person from Tallahassee. I made a bad joke about a TV, and then my mom referenced a TV, and then my sister was having a TV repaired the day Dan got killed. And all of this TV is about $5. Well, it was the price of a TV set, and that's why she picked a TV set. I was like, that is crazy. And Mom said they mentioned an ex-girlfriend. The TV is just an object. To tie it together like it was an actual code word. A code word, imagine that. This guy is like, really, I don't know who he thinks he's fooling. And she made her southern accent real big. He's talking about Georgia. She was showing text messages and saying how nice I was to this person, but she had no direct evidence. And they are like, he is involved. I'm involved with paying, but not with murder. I'm involved, but not involved. And then she says, oh, you said you're involved. Are you kidding me? Katie changed her proffer twice and was lying in court, testifying. It was a complete circumstantial case. You know, it didn't even seem real. But now they have me in this cell like I'm going to take my life. I am not going to take my life. They let me keep my clothes on, but it's mandatory. When you're given a life sentence, you've got to be watched. And there's blood and crap on the walls. He says those words. I was so convinced I was going to get out on Sunday night. I gave away all my stuff. I gave away all my canteen. And then the friend says, you know, I was thinking you were going to get out, bro. We're going to have a beer. Right? Something like that effect. And he says, I don't think I'll ever have a beer for the rest of my life. And he said, 30 days from now, I will be sentenced. A week after that, they take you to this intake place where they teach you all this stuff you need to learn about prison, like how to make your bed. And I'm just hoping they're going to assign me somewhere like that I'm going to be serving my sentence in a state prison. Federal prisons are much nicer because they get federal money, but the state prisons, oh, they're like hell because who's going to spend money from the state on the prisoners? They're going to spend it on education. They said they would send me to a place where I would get protective custody because I would get killed. Everyone knows who I am. We had the top jury consultants. We had so many bad errors. The people we were weeding out, it was like a podcast. It hasn't fully sunk in. And then he says, my hope is that I'm put into protective management. I did not want to be in a room for 23 and a half hours every day. My hope is general population with protective management, and I get to go outside. Half the prisons in Florida were built before 1960, and you don't get to go outside. And then he says, let's say I even win a new trial, which in this case will be an effing miracle. In my trial, they were dotting I's and crossing T's. And it's going to be so hard to win an appeal because we think they did everything right. He said, and I could try this 100 times in Tallahassee. It would be a 1 in 100 shot. He says, I've lived here for a year and a half. On Tuesday, I really thought I was getting out. My son and my parents, they're setting a trust up. I don't believe it. I'm numb. I called Janice. And this is weird, but I'm telling her my parents have to go to my house and box my clothes, and she's at my house now, but sometimes the house will be sold. I feel like I'm dead. You know when someone dies and you have to go through their stuff? My dad's 80, and he has an aneurysm. He'll be 80 this summer. They want to set stuff up for my son. For 1.5 years, I've had no visitors other than my lawyer. No visitors in here. They're not allowed. I want contact visits. I don't want to look through the glass. Might as well just talk on the phone. And then he says, what they did literally, they cut and pasted things out of context. He says the same thing over and over again. They had for years the same evidence. There's no new evidence. And then the thing is, the temperature changes so much. They spend the case reading emails, making us look like terrible people. No one hurt anybody. Now, no one hurt the kids. There were no threats at all. My mom was just suggesting things to, like, he was very religious Jewish, and my mother was suggesting taking photos of the kids in front of a church, like we were going to get them baptized, but we didn't do it. And then, the Hitler Youth costumes, we're just joking around. And did she do anything like that? No, she was just messing with him. Be a jerk to you, be a jerk back. But when you highlight them in yellow and you put them on a big screen, it makes it look crazy. But none of that was done. It was nothing to do with a murder trial, nothing to do with a murder trial. Charlie says, no, absolutely not. And she put the autopsy photos up. It was like a TV production. She put it all together. It helps you paint a picture of some crazy arse people. And then she put the autopsy pictures up with him looking right at the jury. And that was her closing for 2 hours. I'm okay until I start thinking about my son and my parents. They deliberated a total of 2 hours. They went through paperwork and filled it out. A murder trial. There was nothing there. It was all circumstantial. They can make an effing story out of circumstantial. I am staying in a, I hope I don't take my life kind of cell with cameras and glass. And if the appeal fails, I'll spend my life in prison. I got to get an appellate lawyer. Everybody and their mother is telling me that don't give up. Everybody and their mother thought I was going to get out of here. No choice. I can't give up. My sister's ex-boyfriend, that's who they were listening to, who was stalking her and said we were trying to frame him because he thought he was being framed. He starts off telling them to look at all this stuff. Again, goes back to Wendi, right? He thought he was being framed because he drove a similar car as the Prius. And, dude, I met you one time. He started saying all this stuff that I never said. The prosecutors make it easy and simple and told them to use their heads. Told them the simplest answer is usually the right answer. And to go from Sunday night giving all my stuff away and then having all these plans, and now, I never thought, I don't know, that I'd be here. I mean, we're talking, I was going to have to sell the house. The hard part is going to be talking to my parents about setting up a trust for my son. He's getting to that age and asking about me. I am going to tell him I'm at work. He's going to tell him he's at work, he says. And then the guy he's talking to says, yeah, that's a good idea. Tell him you're at work. And then he says, Bree wanted the dog, Bubbles, okay? But my son remembers, shooting him with the hose, and I don't want him to play with the dog by himself. It's the one thing that he shared with me, and my son, I just don't think it's good for him to play with the dog, and then he's going to think of me, so I'm going to have to take care of him. My parents, the jury, a bunch of simple people from Tallahassee, they read those email texts. Ugh, everyone said I did great. I testified, and they started to comment. Comments started to come in and say I was doing great, that I did great. But then she started doing all these lies in the closing that cannot be debated. And they say that you can say anything you want because the judge says it is not to be taken as evidence. But the jury sat and listened to it. If I knew, trust me, Mike, I can't say it. If I knew, yeah. And then he's going like, don't say it, don't say it. Yeah, if I knew, yeah, he'd be like his mother running off to Vietnam, right? They're going to shave my head when I go to effing prison. They strip you naked and then they shave you bald. I don't even know what I'm going to look like when they do that. It is going to F me up mentally. Okay, and then the call before that, also on the same day, November 7th, to Janice is another one I listened to. Now, Janice is, you know who Janice is. So she's living in Charlie's house. She apparently has another house that she's renting out for like $3,500 a month. She's taking care of the dog, but she sounds like she's very into her own issues, and then she takes calls from the house. I don't know whether I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So he says, hey, Janice, they put me in this cell for observation. It has a mirrored glass and camera. I'm like in an effing box. It has shite on the walls. I'm not thinking of taking my life, but it's making me worse putting me in here. A lot is going on in my life, but I am never going to be coming home, Janice. She says, baby, don't say that. He says, of course not. I am not coming home. 1 in 10 million to get an appeal. There was nothing done wrong. Not a chance in hell. When we picked the jury, we thought we had a problem. We had the experts, the best people. Everyone that would have been good, they got off. We got terrible people. I'm going to be here for another month, and then they're going to sentence me to life in prison. And then I go to like a training camp, and then prison, hopefully in protective management. I'm getting sentenced to life in prison without parole. If they charge me like they charge everybody else. So my parents crying and doing stuff for me with the trust for him, his son. I'm going to call Mike and talk with him. That's who we just spoke to. And stuff to work it out with you and figure out what we're doing with the... And then he starts talking about sex toys. And so I'm going to use the word toys now, okay? He says, I have those toys at the house. If you could throw them away so my parents don't find them. I think, and she's like, yeah, okay. And he goes, I think there was even some in the end tables. And he goes, take what you want for yourself and then throw it all out. My parents are like, my dad's going to be 80. And she goes, wait. Why are we throwing it all away? Why are we throwing it all away? This is moving too fast. Do you want me to leave? Are you selling the house? And he says, well, we're not doing something this week or next week. I just want you to know that I'm not coming home. I'm done. I just don't want my parents seeing those toys. I don't want them to do that stuff. And she says, honey, you're 47. I'm like, what does it matter what you have or what they see? And he says, I don't want them to see those toys. Take what you want, throw the rest away. And then he asks, what have you done with my clothes? And she says, oh, I didn't do anything with your clothes. They're all folded nicely. I just added my stuff. And I just added my stuff and put it in there. And he said, it's like if someone is dead and you've got to go through their stuff without them. This was like the Super Bowl of trials up here. I'm not going to get a new trial. And then he said, she said, I feel like the judge could have overturned it, and he didn't. And Georgia Kappelman, and then he says she made the autopsy photos, put them up there like a Dateline special, the most horrific photos I have ever seen in my life. It was horrible. And the cutting and the pasting, and the judge says it's not evidence, but she's summarizing everything. She's summarizing text messages and says they're from my best friend, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I was like... And then she says, I was like, what? That's not his effing best friend. And he goes, I thought he had a good business and I trusted him, but not in 2014. And then he said, and then she brought up my sister's book. She said she wrote it and it talked about how Tallahassee was just a stop on the way to Miami, and then all the emails. What does that mean? It means people think you're a crazy piece of shite, and it shows that you think you're better than everyone. When she got done with her presentation, it was done. She cut one sentence out of a page, out of context, and painted a picture for a third grader, saying, look at his mother, look at his sister. They put on a show. My parents are not good. They are very upset. My dad has an aneurysm. He's going to be 80 this summer. When I think of Dad, I think of Roman. He is going to grow up without a dad. Well, did you think about Dan Markel's kids growing up without a dad, Charlie? It just sucks. My whole life. And to go to prison. And she says, well, we have to look at, your life and the facts that there were people around you that were not good people. And he goes, oh, come on, Janice, you saw little glimmers in my life. You didn't even know my whole life. Okay. And then she's like, well, what's going on about, I have no place to go. Am I going to get kicked out of here? And he says, no, they're not just going to kick you out. And she goes, good, because I have no place to go. And she was just like, let's talk about me kind of thing, right? I got nowhere else to go. It was like an officer and a gentleman. I am just saying I am never coming home. At some point, the house has to get sold or rented. It is the most effed up feeling ever. I don't want to see my son behind glass. I just spoke to Dan. And you don't hear noise except through the phone. I don't want that. I'm going to go to prison, and it's very sad to think that. Very sad. Like a total shock. Like shock. And I'm just pacing back and forth. He says, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm looking for your toys. And then she's like screaming at the dog in between. And then she says, they cleaned out your nightstand when you first got arrested. And he's like, do you see the black little suitcase? And she goes, I have one here. And she says, I recognize it. And then they start laughing. And then she says something about his suits. And then he says, it's the little black attaché case. And she says, that's the one I have. And he goes, I have everything stuffed in it. And then she says, they put the other stuff in a big plastic bag in your closet. And then she's screaming again for the dog. And then his next question, Bubbles, Buddy, or I don't know. I could not even look at him. I could not even say goodbye. It does not even effing seem real. Very effing strange. He said the jury ate lunch, filled out their boxes, and came out. Dan told them what to look up, but they never looked it up. They never even took a note when he was talking. And she says, I know, I heard it. They didn't get any of it. They didn't do any of it. And he said the jurors were not even taking notes. They already made up their mind. And let's see. And the prosecution got the first and the last word. And she says, it was a setup. He says it was a joke. She said, I have the bar all ready for you, babe. You would have been so happy. And then she goes, okay, I found the toys. I will throw them away. And he says, good. I don't want my parents doing it. They'd have a heart attack. And she'd say, they will be okay. You're a grown-ass man. And she said, Bubbles, I guess he is mine now. And she said, do you want me to take care of him? But she says, honey, I have to stay in the house a little longer. And he says, do you want to adopt him? I do have other options. And she said, would you like me to? And he said, my first choice is you. And she said, absolutely. He is my baby, my fur baby. And he said, every time I talk to my parents, I start crying. She asked, what happened to the other house? And he said, I don't know, someone was looking at renting it. And she says, I don't know. I don't see it on Zillow. It says off the market. And he says, I'm so pissed. I thought I would get a fair trial. And he said that Roman says, does Bubbles miss me? He turned 6 in a month. He says, I can't wait to give you all the kisses in the world, Daddy. He's going to grow up with me in prison. This is mental torture. I don't feel like I'm going to take my own life. You know, and she said, oh, you didn't look like that. You just look pale. But you didn't even cry. You looked shocked. You knew what you saw. I mean, I wasn't even able to put on my tie and belt. And I said, can I put on my tie and belt? And they were like, no, you go like that. So I was like, oh, my hands were shackled to my waist. And then I knew something was wrong. This is like some nightmare. That's what I said. They didn't let him put his tie on. It was weird. Twilight Zone, surreal, so surreal. Janice all this stuff in the closing, all the cut and paste from the phone calls, from my mom's email, the birthday present for my dad, my sister's book, presents for Garcia, and my sister and her boyfriend saying this stuff and these emails, and none of the ideas were even evidence. So everybody's coming up with stupid ideas that were never done. None of this was done. Okay, I admit they were crazy, but they were never done. We were not shopping for Hitler Youth costumes at Target. Why does everyone keep bringing it up? Sunday night, I gave away all of my canteen because I was so positive. And then she says to the dog, Bubbles, what is wrong, baby? He's been angry barking. I think he is feeling my energy. And he asked, do you have your house rented? And what are they paying? She says, $3,500. He says, wow, that's crazy. And then he says, my life is over. Everything I ever enjoyed is over. These people over there in prison, they have nothing to lose. They're already serving a life sentence. So they'll kill somebody if they want to. And then she starts asking about TVs. And can she take one of the TVs with her when she leaves? And he's like, no, what if I have to rent the house out? You can't take the TV. And she's like really upset she can't take the TV. And then they start laughing because they're talking about TVs again. They're like, oh, they're going to think we're talking in code. And he says he feels like someone ripped out his heart. He says he feels like he's dead. Scared the crap out of me. They treat you like an animal in these places, like cattle. I don't belong here. This is very surreal. I want to vote again. I want to go to a nice dinner again. I want to play football with my son. I want to take my son to a ball game. I am going to think the only way that I'm leaving prison is in a box, and I'm getting a panic attack. She says, take some deep breaths, close your eyes, try to relax, soothe your mind. All right, Janice, when is your next call? And she says, I have calls at 4 and when your tablet shuts off. I'm having a hard time dealing with a lot of things right now, he said. I want you to call me tonight. Figure out what you want to at some point. My parents are going to have to sell the house, but I don't think my parents are going to live through this. I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to come by or what they're going to do. Maybe I will just get out and have clothes, just box things up and put things in storage. And then he's like, don't touch anything yet, okay? Until I say, Janice, right now, I lost everything. I have nothing, absolutely nothing. It's amazing. I have everything I love. Oh, and then she says, I love you, and I don't know if that means anything to you. And she said, I have been waiting for you. And he said, I'm never coming home. I'm never coming home. Never. And Janice is like crying and screaming. And he says, life is crazy. One of the best memories I have is Bubbles is crazy. Some of my memories are, can you tell Janice about the birds? And then he starts talking about Bree, Jessica, June. I wasn't correcting her. Bree got better. She came a long way, definitely a long way. Her mother's boyfriend has a Great Dane, her mom's dog. And then he says, hang in there, kiddo. I wish I was home. I was ready. I thought you'd get the car ready. I'd walk in the door. I was ready. She said, I was ready to jump on you. Call me later. Be good in there. Love you. Bye. And then I listened to some more of Charlie and his mom. And this was on the 8th again. And she said, Dan is trying to get you a decent place with people you're not expecting. I mean, people that are high profile, like cops. He says, Mom, I'm going to be serving with people who are serving life sentences. You know, they separate people with life sentences. And then he goes, oh, Mom. And she, oh, Charlie. And he said, this is unreal. They deliberated longer for the school shooter than me. And you know what his mom says? She goes, and he really killed people, a lot of them. So Donna's under the impression that they didn't really kill anyone, okay? Because they didn't pull the trigger. And the school shooter, he pulled the trigger and killed a lot of people. And they should not have convicted Charlie. He didn't really kill someone. And then he's back on Wendi, and he says, yeah, they looked at Wendy's book and about her driving by the house, all the things that have nothing to do with what happened. Yeah, nothing to do with what happened, really? And he said, not 1 in 12, not 1 in 12, could see the truth, to see what happened. And So let me see who's in the chat now. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to get a drink after reading all my notes. Okay. All right, so let's see. So anybody, hi Gail and Carrie Gardner, how are you? So I don't know if any of you here are listening to the calls. They're quite interesting. I like to take a lot of notes when I listen to them, but I think I'm just going to listen to some word tonight without taking notes, and then take some notes tomorrow. Let's see. But I'm going to see if our guest is ready to come on. If anybody else would like to come on and talk about Charlie, Donna, Wendi, or anybody, come on up. Let me see something here. Judge denies. Outrage. Yeah, the Long Island serial killer's wife got $1 million for that Peacock documentary. New York lawmakers recently filed legislation to stop defendants' family members from profiting from their crimes amid reports that the suspected Long Island serial killer's estranged wife was paid for an upcoming docuseries. Crazy, right? Let's see. It's scheduled to begin next year. The outlet reported that Ellerup was paid $1 million for her participation. In light of the purported deal, 2 bills are pending in New York to amend the Son of Sam laws, which bar defendants from profiting from their crimes. But the bills would prevent relatives of defendants from doing the same. The amount of money that's being thrown here while victims' families get nothing is just horrible, said Senator Kevin Thomas. Meanwhile, Peacock said through a news outlet that it asked the victims' families to participate in the upcoming docuseries, and they either declined or did not respond. It's unclear when the docuseries is set to air. Unbelievable, right? Okay, let me go check on our guest. Okay, because we're on a little bit early today, so I'm going to go through some other Charlie Adelson stuff right now. When our guest gets here, she can email me. Okay, let me get some more Charlie Adelson stuff, okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's look at June Mchinda. Rivera. Okay, so I want to go to Luis Rivera for a minute. Okay, so let me see here. Hold on one second. Okay, so judge at this time. Let me see what they're talking about now. Trying to see here. She's talking about Dan Markel's car and the bus there, but I'm going to go to Premier Jim. Okay, so why did Wendi, right? Let's go see why. Okay. All right. So Wendi, going through the bitter custody dispute, wants to take the kids to Miami, right? And people think they're waiting until they have enough evidence to convict her because they only get one chance. If they try her without strong evidence and she gets acquitted, they blew it. The trying to set up Jeffrey Lacasse is something by asking about his travel plans, her driving by the crime scene. Some are saying that's enough, some are saying that's not enough. But I think that driving by the crime scene, the MY and the TV and just all of that is just crazy. But let me see here. Wendi is the golden child of the family. People think her mother would do anything to make her life easy. Her ex-boyfriend is described as stunted. Donna wrote those emails with detailed instructions on how to act and what to do to Dan because she's always giving step-by-step instructions. Let's see. People are saying, I seriously doubt she'll be charged. Interesting. So let's see here. Okay, so so apparently in the calls that took place on 11/9, Donna says she's not done yet. She meant Ruth. Ruth isn't calling the shots anymore. And she said that woman won't rest until she gets custody of those children. Interesting. Let me see here. Very interesting. Okay, let me just go check the chat now. Let's see. Poor Charlie, he's got nothing to live for anymore. He's like over at the prison camp now, learning how to make his bed and stuff. That's what's going on with him. And yep. Let me see. Okay, so let me see here. Sound guilty, Delio. Charlie Adelson's defense team files motions to interview jurors and say the jurors allegedly made a group chat. That came one day after Adelson was found guilty. Isn't that interesting? So Charlie Adelson's defense team files a motion to interview the jurors, saying that the jurors allegedly made a group chat. A motion was filed by Charlie's defense team requesting the judge to interview all the jurors involved in the case. That came a day after Charles Adelson was found guilty of murder, conspiracy, and solicitation in the 2014 murder of his brother-in-law, former brother-in-law, Dan Markel. The motion claims an alternate juror emailed the defense team, claiming one or more members of the jury asked all the other jurors for their telephone numbers, which some sort of group chat was established. The alternate juror was allegedly unaware of what was said on the group chat, the document said, but he felt that this was something the parties and the court should be aware of. The defense said in the motion that they did not know what the substance of the communication was, nor if the communication involved outside information about the case or constituted premature deliberation. What we do know is that this particular juror was uncomfortable enough to reach out to us, the defense said in their motion. Given the extensive publicity surrounding the case and the intense media and community interest in its outcome, we believe that an interview of the jurors, either by this court or by the underside counsel, is required to ensure the integrity of the jury's verdict in this, said the defense motion. I think, wait a minute, did we read this? This sounds so familiar. There was another case recently that wanted, oh, that's the Maya case. Saying this is like deja vu. Okay. Very interesting. Charlie Adelson. Hold on a sec. Whoops. Charlie Adelson. So Donna's book was called This Is Our Story. I mean, not Donna's book, Wendi's book, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at some. This is our story, Wendi Adelson. Okay. And This Is Our Story follows the life of Rosa and Milla, Two young women from different countries who become victims of human trafficking when duped into domestic servitude and commercial sexual exploitation in the American Southeast. Their experiences with the underbelly of globalization here in our own backyard and the legal battles they wage against their traffickers with their immigration attorney, Lily, are told in their own voices and hers in vivid, compelling detail. So, see, her character, Lily, is supposedly like her, and Tallahassee is, there's a fictional town that's similar to Tallahassee. In her introduction, it says, Grandma always warned, never share your underwear. Mom advised, go to law school and find yourself a good husband. Well, that sounds certainly like advice Donna would offer, doesn't it? So, yeah. Okay. And that's the book that they keep pulling out that Charlie gets very upset about. Because it has nothing to do with anything. Nothing. Nothing to do with it. Okay, so let's go through some of Donna's emails. Okay, so I'm going to read you some of Donna's emails here. Well, okay. From Donna, May 3rd, 2013. Dear Wendi, okay, just saw this email this morning. Obviously, his 23-page rant was insufficient, so he's trying to push the court to deny hearing your petition. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if to prevent any action your attorney must respond or not. Only you and she know that. However, Gibbers, that's what the mother called Dan, Markel, has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get what he has always gotten, his way. His job allows for lots of time for him to put into this project, and you know as well as I do that all the research he's done on different case law to prove his point is his research, not his attorney's. No matter who did it, he is quoting 13 cases to show why the court should basically throw out your petition. Is Kristen answering this? Does it require an answer to make sure that this is not seen by the court as ignoring his rights? I don't know. You need to find out. The most important part of your divorce is relocation. I sincerely hope your attorney understands that this is your non-negotiable. Lots of things are negotiable. That's the one thing that you cannot let her think, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She needs to hear from you how serious you are about this and how it will benefit the children with a close-knit family support system, as well as your significantly better paying job with hours that are much more flexible than your current job, so that you can spend significantly more time with the children, which requires teaching hours, office hours, court appearances, meetings with med school people, and multiple trips away from home. Those trips need to be coordinated with a very angry man who will not be cooperative with you in this regard. For example, this past weekend, you had your annual conference for redacted. At the same time, his regular NYU crap was taking place. He didn't say, I go to NYU every month and this is your annual meeting. I'll stay with the children and you go. Of course not. Danny thinks he's a very important person, and as always, he and his needs come first. So without your parents as backup, one of you would have had to stay home with the children. Your attorney needs to understand that your mother worked full-time in the family's dental practice until September, when she felt she was needed by you for the well-being of the children to get them through a transitional time with people who love them and see them frequently and with whom they share great affection. Your father has made numerous trips by plane for weekends and changing the patient's schedules around so that he can continue to spend significant time with the children. Both the disappearance of your mother from the position of an office manager and the disappearance of your father from the practice for a significant amount of time has caused a decrease in the practice income and the loss of some patients who feel that it's either not being run the same way as when my parents were there full-time, or that my father is unable to see patients with problems and has referred them to other offices during his absences. Additionally, the loss of income affects my family because my older brother, also a dentist, purchased the practice from my father in mid-July 2012. He has a monthly payment to make to my father based on the sale of the practice. It isn't fair to him to have decreasing monthly income statements from the practice due to my parents spending so much time here in Tallahassee. My brother is unmarried and is a wonderful uncle to Benjamin and Lincoln. If I am able to relocate to South Florida, they will have an incredibly warm and loving family as an integral part of their lives. Not on an occasional 2-day weekend trip or visit. Yeah, right? Now you can visit that great uncle through glass, right? And then she puts, let's see, response, brief background. This is a no-fault divorce state. So his nonsense about no marital infidelity or abuse doesn't matter. However, a hot temper and verbal abuse is what you need to emphasize that you've suffered under his reign. Narcissistic personality disorder causes major problems in a marriage, especially when one believes that because he attended Harvard undergrad and Harvard law, he's clearly better and smarter than anyone else, including you. Only an idiot like him would write that he should be the one consulted for making decisions regarding the health, education, and religion of his children. Clearly no one, including you, is as smart as he is in those regards. The money you moved into an account for you was exactly half to the penny of the joint account, which is marital assets. The furniture you took was the bare minimum. A bed for you to sleep on from the guest bedroom, one nightstand and your dresser. You took 2 chairs that you bought 5 years ago at a neighborhood furniture store's closeout sale for $50 each. You have receipts to show all the new furniture you purchased to relocate to a safe place. You absolutely must emphasize that the only reason you left when he was out of town is because of the threat. You'll leave without your children, without a penny, and just the clothes on your back. It's super important for the judge to get the message that this guy is a big bully. I don't know if she'll be able to read that when you submit copies of that, some of the emails that he sent you. He feels if he said something, that's it. Well, that's not it. He says you did this while he was on a short business trip. How about how many trips and conferences, etc. this man has taken? How much time away from his family? You have all those documented, and now you need to sit down and figure out how many days away that's been. How about adding to that all his 2-week trips to Israel, especially when you were at the end of your pregnancy, sweet, caring, concerned husband. Hold on one sec. He talks about not knowing where the children were, incorrect address for the first 6 weeks. Let the court know that although he was never particularly interested in the children prior to the divorce, he was advised to keep a diary and make sure that he knows his interests now. You arranged to meet him the very next day with Alan and Lynn Grossman, mutual friends, and the children at a local yogurt shop so that he could see the children were fine. You were in fear of his temper and so you did not want to reveal your address. However, 4 days after the separation, you arranged to bring the children to his house, as his parents were going to be in town, and they were there for Rosh Hashanah holiday with them. The following week, on one of his uninvited treks to your office, after he threatened you with federal kidnapping charges, which of course now he recants like he does anything he can't believe he actually did, you gave him your address. That was 1 week after separation, not 6 weeks. He says you took non-marital assets. What? He says the children were 3 and 1 at the time this took place. Ben was 3 and Lincoln was 23 months, 1 month before his 2nd birthday. He talks about you both being paid professors with stable jobs. Yours is not a tenure-track job. And with the economy as it is, there's no guarantee it will be there in the future. His trash talking to various faculty members about your mental instability has also poisoned your work environment, making it extremely difficult for you to continue to function there in the same way as you previously did. Your job also pays you half of what his job pays. So, on your own, it's not feasible to continue to live in the home you are currently renting. You have borrowed a considerable amount of money from your parents and must repay it for furniture, legal fees, moving expenses, etc. My parents have paid all grocery bills up to this point, for which I will have to reimburse them. I do not want to dip into the money from our marital account, as that will have to go towards supporting my children and for the future. According to Jibbers, the relocation must show that the current arrangement for the children is deficient from the perspective of the children, and the relocation would advance their interests. This is something that we have reviewed numerous times in other papers, Wendi. Review all that we put together in this regard rather than have me repeat it. Obviously, the number one reason is significantly more income for you in a job that will also give you significantly more time with the children. For children at this tender age, nothing is more important than spending quality time with them, which your current job does not permit. The financial freedom will accompany your job and will allow you to provide educational and outside activities and lessons for the boys that would not be affordable under your current salary. Number 2, the ability for our children to spend quality time with my parents and my mother, a retired elementary school teacher, would be a huge bonus to our children's academic and social progress. In my parents' home, each child currently has and would continue to have their own rooms with appropriate beds, furniture, books, and toys. Mr. Markel has become a religious zealot over the last few years since the birth of our first son, taking him to synagogue with him as an infant so that he can absorb the music and the prayers. He has done the same with our second son. This is also to show the congregation what an attentive father he is. The fact remains that the children are watched by teenage children of other congregants, so in a sort of playroom while the services are going on. Mr. Markel picks one of them up to come back out at certain parts of the service to hear particular hymns and then returns to the care of the babysitters. This is done rather than allowing them to remain home with me. When I protested, he insisted. He always gets his way. There are no Hebrew day schools in Tallahassee. Mr. Markel seems intent upon religious training, but feels that only he could provide the best religious training for our children. He is indoctrinating them, not teaching them. If he truly cared about a religious school for them, then clearly one of the 37 Hebrew day schools in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County would be a better choice for our boys. My home in Broward County is close to many of these schools and midway between Dade and Palm Beach schools. I hope your attorney is researching cases when relocation was granted and what the circumstances were. Also, all cases are different, and because one case didn't allow it doesn't mean that should prevent another case from receiving that benefit. Danny has said on numerous occasions, one, I from receiving that benefit. One I have on my phone as a saved message. What wonderful grandparents and in-laws we've been. He knows that the children are very close to us, and we'd always be there to take care of them. Well, not if you're in jail like you are now, Donna, right? Right, okay. What's going to happen in June when he wants you to go to 3 different conferences? Don't let him go when he wants to go to 3 different conferences. Don't let him go. If you do, you're enabling and facilitating. You stay in Tallahassee. You'll be showing him that anytime he has a meeting he wants to go to, that's fine. You'll watch the boys. That's the whole point of relocation for you and the children. He can continue to attend all the meetings he wants to, and then arrange for frequent and extended visitation with the boys. Maybe some of the money he spends on his trips can be used to visit the boys. Another bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets, since he does have family that would allow him to use their homes to stay in, but obviously that's a last-ditch effort if all else fails. He's trying to show the court that your request is frivolous and that you should have to pay for yours and his court costs in his plea. Your lawyer has to let the court know that it's anything but frivolous. And isn't he also supposed to pay some of your regular legal fees? This bastard has not paid 1 cent towards your bridge gap alimony. Why? Why? Only 2 months of a child support payment over an 8-month time frame? Loving, caring father that he is. Do you need info on grocery bills? I have a good many of them, and can show the court what it's been costing just for that, with no support from Jibbers. Also, find out from Kristen if she wants you to pay us back now or wait. What's best for your case? I'm too angry to write anymore. I'm going to shower, wash my hair, and get ready for you and the boys to come home. Dad said he'd look up any papers tonight and over the weekend that you may need. He even has the info on what Danny had in his IRA and 401k prior to marriage. Love you, Mom. Okay, let's see what else we have here now. There's another one from Donna. Okay, this is June 25th, 2013. And it says, please read. Very important to Wendi. Hi, honey. Okay, just like it says on your necklace, never, never, never give up. It's time for action. It's time to take control of your life and not let Jibbers think he's just won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee, 8 hours away from the only family you have, and lose out on what will be a job that will afford you and your children advantages that they will never otherwise be able to enjoy. Let's show this effer what will make him absolutely miserable. You know his weak points: money, religion, control. You have 5 weeks before your court date. I know you have a job that keeps you very busy, however, the rest of your life, and consequently Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's will be affected by how well you can perform or act before July 31st. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Just remember that. Dad and I have done everything we could to try to help you the last 10 months. Now it's time to help yourself. We believe that you will be able to make this happen if you can put those actions before everything else this next month. And you know that you've only got the kids a limited number of days to do this. We believe that Jibbers will be saying, "Stop this!" And you'll be telling him, "You wanted me in Tallahassee. My children are going to fit in this Bible Belt. They're going to church every time I have them. I'm having them privately tutored at home to get caught up for the Sunday school classes that I've registered them for in the fall. The class time coincides with the service I'll be attending. Tell him that you've got a new outlook on life and a new hope, and that you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he would like to join you and the boys at church. Plan of action. 1. Take photos of the boys dressed nicely, standing at the front door or by the sign of a Tallahassee church, and then change your Facebook status photo to this one so everyone will see this. Perhaps a line under the photo with "New beginnings in Tallahassee" might be nice. Within minutes, Jibbers should either see this or will be getting calls from his friends or acquaintances about this. How happy do you think he will be? 2. Make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, teenage Catholic church member who will come to the house to teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange for this to happen, I will happily do it for you. She or he will have to serve as a good babysitter's assistant for you while you're preparing dinner, etc. 3. Let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church, and you'll certainly invite him to the event. Let him know that the Catholic Church is now a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like him to be part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with the church-related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out, and a baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks, and we can send out evites to Jibbers, his parents, sister, and anyone else you want to invite. 4. I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it, even if the boys end up only going for a few days that they are in Tallahassee. On those days, you have them prior to the hearing. 5. Register them for toddler classes at the church. I've looked into this, and even if they don't go, we can show Jibbers that they are enrolled for the fall semester. And you can not tell anyone this is an act. Somehow it will get back to Jibbers. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want you to stop this. Wendi, you've been through a difficult year. You've had to make a huge decision. You did that. It was the right decision. Now you have one final opportunity to make him angry. We want him ticked off, so he realizes that he could lose control over his kids. We want to make a financial offer to him to allow this relocation. You need to work on this plan, and we'll help you through it so that you may affect how much we will offer him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein in Boca. Or perhaps he'd like to invite them to a Christmas party at their other Sunday school. You've had a little over 3 weeks till mediation. Let's get this going now. I know you never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could to try to come down to your family. Was everything they could? Murdering Dan Markel, Donna? Between living down here and having a job that will give your children the lifestyle they deserve, your life and for sure in the future will be significantly better. Gary told us that he is not going to hire anyone until after your court hearing and after we try to make a financial offer to Jibbers. We don't want Danny to continue his religious influence over these children any more than what he's already done. If he keeps this up, and they won't want to eat in your non-kosher home, and if they see you don't want to attend their shul functions, you'll be the outsider as they get older and more involved under Jibbers' religious influence. They will be able to request which parent they want to live with. Don't allow Jibbers to have this power and control over them. Then in reality, he's going to have the same control over you. Dad and I have changed our lives this year to support and assist you and the boys in every possible way. Charlie has accepted the loss in the office, business income for us to do this because he loves you and wants only the best possible future for you. It's time for you to show us that you can put on the performance of your life for the next few weeks. Please call us after you read this. We're waiting to talk to you. If you have any other ideas, make a last chance for relocation happen, please let us know. We send this letter with our love and only the best intentions, Mom and Dad. Okay. Let's go here. This is June 27th from Donna to Wendi. Dear Wendi, since neither one of us feels up to talking, let me share with you what we're all feeling as far as your response. When I wrote to you this morning, we felt that you had reasonable thoughts as to what the judge might do or say or think regarding the charade we had hoped you would participate in. However, the more we think about it, we begin to realize that you and we have no idea what this judge will do, say, or think. Who would have thought after paying an attorney $600 per hour for 10 months, she would take an hour and a half of testimony, not even bother calling Jibbers to stand, and decide the family support for very, very young children evidently means nothing, and a job that pays 10 times what your unsecured, uninterred, and dependent upon state budget cost judge pays in Tallahassee will be just fine for your children. Does she care that after expenses you'll save next to nothing at the end of the year? Does she care that the very little, if anything, you have will be put away for the children for their current and future school education? Does she care that extracurricular activities, sports, trips, eating out in restaurants will always be a financial challenge for you to provide for the boys? Clearly, she did not take into consideration the future earning potential and benefit for your children. She didn't care that there's no backup support system when one of your preschoolers is sick. All she cared about is if your father hasn't been pulling out their toenails. You should give up any financial betterment for you and your children and raise them in a place that you agreed to go to because Jibbers only had FSU as a job offer. Of course, as a graduate of FSU Law School and a native of Tallahassee, she sees nothing wrong with living there. Obviously, as a native of South Florida, you know better. Our point is obvious, that you and Kristen haven't figured out the judge so far. You were both shocked to the rapid decision based on nothing that was presented. So how do you think at this point you can figure out what the judge will say regarding the decision to introduce Christianity into the boys' lives? Okay, let me just see if... What is here? Let's see. Hi, it's Bank. Okay, I was just checking. Let me see if I've got my email. Let me see. Okay. And we go. Okay, let me finish reading this. Our point is obvious that you and Kristen haven't figured out the judge so far. You were both shocked at the rapid decision based on nothing that was presented. So how do you think at this point you can figure out what the judge will say regarding the decision to introduce Christianity into the boys' lives? People go to prison and change their religion all the time. Isn't that ironic? Because there's a couple people, well, Charlie's going to prison, and I think you might be on your way too, Donna. And find Jesus. Jesus was Jewish. He had positive teachings. He gives people hope. And best of all, you get to go to heaven in the end. Sounds good to me. Obviously, it will sound good to Judge Hobbs. She goes to church. There were multiple donations from her church pastors and ministers on her financial contributions website. She's a Southern black lady. How do you know? It won't be music to her ears to hear this. As far as losing the children on the Jewish holidays, there are a couple of alternatives to this. First of all, it may happen, but unlikely. He is entitled to half the holidays and alternating those holidays each year with you. You may be interested in the teachings of Jesus, because Gibbers has certainly ruined Judaism for you in the extreme way he practices it. However, if the judge questions how much of the Jewish holidays you can have, you can explain that your parents and brother are Jewish, and they will be coming to Tallahassee to spend those holidays, or the half that you're entitled to, or perhaps even the 60% that you're entitled to with the boys. Secondly, so what if some crazy stance the judge says, okay, Gibbers can have all the Jewish holidays. Then if our bribe doesn't work, you can tell him during the year that you'll take the kids out of Sunday school at church and cancel their upcoming baptism if he shares those dates with you. If not, keep them there. Third, since there is a separation of church and state, she'll just go by whatever schedule you are given and tell you to work it out as the holiday arrangements begin between yourselves. Who declares which are legitimate holidays and which aren't? Let's see. Obviously, the court isn't out to help you. It clearly says Judge Hobbs' last ruling says she could care less about anything you had to say on your behalf. You need to help yourself. Obviously, you need to help yourself. You know, Wendi, most of the wars that have been fought in the last couple of thousands of years have been over religion. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that. Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done and a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth costumes and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show Gibbers that he's not in control. If your children are baptized, it doesn't make them Christian. Ben and Lincoln aren't really pirates because they dress up like Jake the pirate. It's an act. You've got into this mess with Gibbers by being so compliant and non-confrontational with him. If you could just keep paying your attorney her $600 per hour and don't fight for what you want, you're no better off than if you stayed married to him. Sure, you got rid of being unhappy in a marriage so you don't have to live under the same roof. But he'll still be in control of everything, including what he wanted. Sole custody of the boys' religious lives. Why let him? Why not stand up to this effort? Why not fight? Why not talking about a lifetime of this? You had the boys a very limited number of days before this mediation takes place. This is all part of an act. Please rethink this. We're all willing to help you to accomplish this. And that's all it is, Wendi, an act of defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. It will infuriate him. It won't infuriate a judge that you found Jesus. She can comment on your religious views. She can't comment on your religious views. You need to see the big picture. You need to look into the future, what a life without your only family nearby, teaching in Tallahassee with Danny, always in the picture, will give you. It's not a pretty picture. We want to see you help yourself. Not everything has to do in life. Not everything one has to do in life is comfortable or easy. Sometimes it's ridiculously hard, but Gibbers has tried to aggravate and screw you since day one of this divorce. His vicious emails, his defiance from Dr. Pam's directions on asking him not to come to your school every day when he doesn't have the boys. He's not allowing you to pick up your children 1 hour earlier to drive them to Atlanta. His bad-mouthing of you to the faculty at the school you'll be working at, everything he does makes you seem malicious. Okay. Why can't you do this for a few days and then you have the boys prior to the mediation? You know him. You know which buttons he wants to push. He certainly knows how to push your buttons. Take something from him. Right now he's got everything just the way he wants. We need to take something from him in order for him to negotiate it back. This is your shite. This extremism that Gibbers is already teaching the boys is nothing more than brainwashing. Religion is brainwashing. It's control of the masses. It affects who your friends are, what activities you do, how you eat, how you dress, how you pray, everything. There is no doubt that you will have two little Orthodox young men on your hands, and with the only religious influence over them being Gibbers, he's already got them thinking that people who eat shrimp are bad, hot dogs are disgusting, lobster is gross. Wait. Ben's not even 4 years old. Wait till he's 8. You're not teaching them anything different. You don't teach them that on Saturdays they can go to soccer or have a regular organized sports activity or even a swim lesson. You let them play in the park or in the house. Gibbers has an organized plan that he's been doing pretty much since they were born. Shul, 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 shul. Every Saturday morning that he has them. Shul for every Saturday that he has them. Shul for every holiday. Shul parties. Shul, shul, shul. That will be their life. We don't want you to be the outsider who doesn't join in with the rest of the family. Wendi, this is all about negotiating. After consulting with 2 attorneys who are both excellent negotiators, one of whom we will most likely hire for the financial offer, we are getting the same advice. I felt like a little earthquake. That was weird. Okay. What time is it? 12:09. We'll have to see if we had an earthquake at 12:09. You must take something from him that he wants. When you intelligently negotiate in mediation, you pretend you want the house. Even if you don't, you pretend you want the car. Even if you don't, you pretend you want the ring. Even if you don't care. You pretend you want the kids in Catholic school. Even if you don't. It's just the business of clever negotiation. It's not whether or we are a negotiation. It's not what you or we are familiar with. But people in business do it all the time. Both attorneys have said that this is how you get what you want. If you can't just take anything from him, then what we do is just the financial offer. It's just not as good. And then look at it this way. What's the downside? What worst case scenario is the judge does give him the Jewish holidays, and then after a short period of time, you offer him taking the kids out of Catholic school, Sunday school, if he shares the holidays. Oh, have a stipulation that holidays need to be reviewed yearly. You have a very smart lawyer. She knows that all kinds of stipulations and temporary arrangements can be made at a divorce. Wow, these emails go on for ages. Whew. Wendi, you don't manipulate people. You're a sweet, kind, caring person. Gibbers is a manipulator. You just need to play a role. When you're doing is jockeying for a position, in the end, if you do this and it doesn't work out, the results will be that you're blaming yourself. I have to stop for a minute because the reading of her emails is putting me to sleep. Getting like the Teresa Seaver stuff. It's Bink. Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, you've got to go to... Oh, no. I thought it was bowling night. Goodbye, it's Bink. Okay, I'm going to open up the panel anyway to see who would like to come on. Who would like to come on? I don't know where our lady is yet, but she might not be here because it is still earlier than when she was here. So what I'm going to do is start a new meeting and end that one. And I'm going to invite anybody that wants to talk about these phone calls and the Adelson case. I'm going to send it to the lady. Okay. Let me find. Where are you? Okay, so I set that up now. All right. So let's see here now. What you're doing is jockeying for position in the end. If you do this and it doesn't get the results you were hoping for, you can't blame yourself. You can feel good that you did everything you could. I'm not saying that we're not going to continue with hiring an attorney to negotiate and make a financial offer, but I don't think you realize the type of offer we're considering. We're planning on you, Charlie, and Dad, and I going as high as equal parts in a $1 million offer. That's $333K from each of us. Obviously, the more chits on our side, the better our chances are that we won't have to go that high. You have to show us that you're going to do your part. If in this too, we're a team. We can't do this without your help. One of the possibilities, in lieu of that much money, obviously we start much lower. Hold on a sec. Is offering not just taking them out of the church, but negotiate a settlement which you could possibly offer both boys private education at the Donna Klein Hebrew Day School in Boca. It may include monthly airline tickets to South Florida for as long as he lives in Tallahassee. He may stop and think that if he can get a job in the city, he'd prefer to live in it. It would be an easy flight to see his children. He loves living in South Florida, teaching at his current schedule here and for the 26 weeks per year that he would have frequent and liberal visitation. You're not looking to remove him from their lives. He needs to understand that. The negotiating lawyer will work with him. With his school teaching schedule, he could see his children here a significant amount of the time. His child support would also be much less. The attorney will also be laying this out there. What the various payment offers would be worth to him in the next 15 to 18 years when he would want to retire. The amount is huge. The payoff can be him at a certain point without any additional income of his own in the $4,000 range. Certainly nothing he'd ever save in 10 lifetimes. If you try this, you really will you will not be any worse off than you are just doing nothing. So what's preventing you from just trying? Oh my goodness. very long-winded. I don't know how much of the big picture you're seeing, honey. I don't know if you realize that not only what you can provide for your boy's life, but for your own life, all depends on this change. Aside from living in a far better city with your family, a personal history there, and you'll also have a greater opportunity to meet people for your future. I'm sure there will be many lovely women who are teachers, divorced with 2 children. You can be highly successful, highly compensated attorney who is independent and not in need of someone to marry you to help support your 2 children. You can have someone cleaning your home, a nanny to help with your children, a lifestyle in which you and your boys can travel. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to really tune in around your life and make a positive difference in the lives of your children. Your expenses with the boys now are minimal. Wait until you see how expensive everything is in the future for them. We don't want you, and I don't imagine you'll want to live paycheck to paycheck. Teenagers are more than yogurt these boys eat now. The yogurt the boys eat now. Everyone has a price. Now is the time to start. You said this divorce is not about winning and losing. It's not about a competition. You already lost relocation according to the legal system. If it's about winning and losing, we're trying to get a win. You deserve it. You deserve so much more in life without Tallahassee family. Life is tough. If you don't stand up and take a chance, you don't stand a chance. Please, Wendi, do your part and stand up to him. Make an effort to do this so that our group will stand a better chance at being accepted. Don't let his temporary move to Tallahassee ruin your entire life. We all want the same thing, to better an emotion. Okay, let's see. And financial life for you and the boys all the way around. You know, Grandma was one tough and very smart lady. I think about her all this time. And I think that her advice, this very intelligent person, a wonderful reader of people who loved you more than words could ever express, would say to you, she'd tell you to fight with every bone in your body. Fight for yourself, fight for your boys, fight for the boys again and the kids. You know that's true. Fight for yourself. Wendi will be there to help you. Just don't tell us what you already needed to know. Now is move forward with a sense of peace. That's giving up. I don't believe that's really what you want to do, though. After all we've been through together, and when you're literally a few weeks from this being over. Written with hope and love, Mom and Dad. She signs their name to them. Mom and Dad. Interesting, right? Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, here, this is a shorter one. Honey, okay, your attorney must depot Elvis to see if any of the retirement accounts that Elvis has ever had a check written from them during the course of your marriage, if any of them were funded through any joint assets, your mutual swap account, or in any way passed through joint financial accounts, then you're entitled to a portion of those accounts, even if nothing was ever done improperly on those accounts. And he has some very large retirement accounts. Let's aggravate him, why he's trying to aggravate you, and make him do the research and show the statements from every month. Okay, let me just try to see if she came in. She did not come in yet. No, hi Kate. My goodness, I wish I had a fraction of this energy and support. However, I would never read these emails. They are overwhelming. I know, they are absolutely overwhelming, but if you're in the case, you're in the case. And a lot of people haven't heard the emails. Excuse me, hold on, I've got to get something. I've got to get a piece of sugar. I have to get something with sugar to give me a little kick right now. Okay. So I want to get through this email over here. And I think it's important, especially because the woman that wrote these emails is currently behind bars and charged in the murder of her son-in-law, and these all pertain to that, right? So, yeah. Right? Now, okay. So let me go back here. Okay. Or in any way pass through joint financial accounts, then you are entitled to a portion of those accounts, even if nothing was ever done improperly on these accounts. And he has some very large retirement accounts. Let's aggravate him the way he's trying to aggravate you, and make him do research and show statements for every month, from the date of your marriage to the date of the filing of the divorce. You need to see whatever he deposited into these accounts where the money came from. It's very possible some of it came from your joint Schwab account, and then he's up Shites Creek. Why shouldn't he have to do this? It's what I mentioned to Kristen in court yesterday, and she nodded her head. Now she needs to do something about it. It just seems ridiculous for him to be able to depot you, but you and Kristen not to give him the same crap that he's pulling on you. It's time to give it to him. Also, what can your attorney do to be proactive, to give him some grief? It seems like you're always on the defensive, but I don't see her doing anything offensive. I was really surprised that you didn't speak with her prior to the meeting her in court. Can't you meet with her and work out a plan of attack or some sort of strategizing so you know what you're up against? And what else can you do? And what else he can do? When is there an end to the nonsensical litigation and waste of the court's time and your financial obligations to your attorney? I think it's really important to get the parenting coordinator to either testify or be brought to deposition, perhaps by your attorney, so we can get her to request that Elvis be court-ordered for psychological testing. And if he's this off, perhaps he should not be permitted to take the children out of the country. This is whatever happened with the dean. Any help, or did you need to proceed to the provost? Something has to be done with this a-hole. Call us if you feel up to it tonight. If you're too tired, then call us in the morning after you leave the boys at school, if you can. Love you, Mom and Dad. Okay. Where's my other one? Where's my, I don't know what has happened to all of my emails. My other, that's interesting. My Google closed. That wasn't good. Well, now I gotta find you again. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let me go to, one second here. Okay, now, Dan Markel was 41 years old when he was murdered. That happened on July 18th of 2014. And now we have Luis Rivera, who turned to states. He took a plea deal and testified for Sigfrido Garcia, who was the trigger man in this. Kate Magbanua, Charlie Adelson, and now we have Donna coming around, right? Okay. So let's see something here. I like that. Hold on, I'm going to go to something else, okay? So we've gone through Donna's lovely emails, right? Okay. Donna, Donna, Donna. Donna. So Donna, let's talk about a little bit about Donna's life. Donna was an elementary school teacher, right? Okay. But I want to know a little more about her early life, okay? Donna's early life. Let's see. Okay, well, this is interesting, and this is probably something maybe you haven't seen. Hang on. This is, look at this. This is in the younger days, okay, this is the brother that they've disowned. Everybody doesn't like this brother, right? This is Charlie. Who would know that, right? When you look at this family, what would happen down the line, right? There looks like there's a great father looks almost the same. Donna's really changed. Wendi looks very much the same. Charlie's changed a lot. So let's see what Donna, the matriarch, right? She gave up working in the office to take care of Wendy's kids. And she was an elementary school teacher for how long and between what years? Look at Donna then there, huh? Okay, let's see. Where was Donna Adelson born? Let's find out a little bit about Donna's family. Let's see where she was born. Okay. Oh my goodness. I think Donna was ice skating recently, Binky. Donna Adelson. So she has 3 kids, and let's see, Harvey and Donna wedding. Okay, Donna and Harvey both grew up in New York City. Donna went to Queens College. Interesting, Donna. She became an elementary school teacher. Isn't that special? So they grew up in New York City and then they relocated to Florida. Let's see here. Dr. Harvey Adelson. He's a cosmetic dentist. Grew up in New York, graduated from Stuyvesant High School and the University of Buffalo. The University of Buffalo, he got a Bachelor of Science in Molecular Biology, and then he went to Temple University, DMD. They moved to Florida in 1973, and he's practiced forever in that area after that. Besides his kids, he likes photography, yoga, and tennis. And then we know Charlie is a periodontist. Yeah, but that's great. But we want to find out about Donna. She graduated from Queens College with a BA in education, and she taught elementary school and raised 3 children before she joined her husband's practice. She enjoys travel, tennis, and spending time with family. Okay. But now she's in the Leon County Jail, right? Let's see. Okay, so there apparently was a shrine area, which Wendi gloated about in her house. The focus on Wendi was special and palpable. Oh, yes. Harvey and Donna were very involved in Wendi and Dan's life. Okay, so we don't know anything about Donna having siblings or stuff like that, right? Let me see. The Adelsons had piles of cash and millions of dollars in the bank. So they had all this money, okay, even with seeing their son through this tremendous trial and all of this stuff, and the father losing. That's what Charlie was talking about, loans too, and he told his father to do this thing, but the father losing all of their money, right, and then having to earn it back again. But they had millions and millions, piles of cash, millions in the bank. So what's all that money's not going to help Charlie at all, right? Except maybe get him some extra honey buns and commissary. My mom doesn't like my brother. That's what he said on the witness stand. Let's see. Donna Adelson. Donna Sue Adelson. Donna Sue. Doesn't exactly sound like a very New York name, but I'm just thinking about, what was I just thinking about? Something about Donna. I was just thinking about something about Donna. I don't remember what it was, but it was weird. I was thinking something about Donna. Donna Adelson. Donna Adelson. All right, let me find out where you guys are and see if our friends are here. Hi, Nora. I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you? We're talking about the Adelsons. You remember for 43 months, right? So does anybody want to come up and talk about anything regarding these phone calls? If you're listening to the phone calls, if you think anything about what Georgia Kappelman's tactic is going to be. Do you think the mother will take some kind of a deal? What's going to happen? What's going to happen here? Is the mother going to take a deal? Hi, Rando. Honestly, Donna was an attractive woman. Bitterness and hate catches up with you. That is true, Rando. It kind of eats you from the inside out, doesn't it? When you're very bitter and jealous and hateful. And can you imagine carrying around, allegedly, right, a secret like that? when she said about the school shooter, and she's like, oh my gosh, and he actually killed people, a lot of them. I think she truly believes they didn't pull the trigger, they didn't kill anyone. Kind of like, you know what I mean? This is what people in power do, and it's okay. And she can't believe that people came into court and lied, is what she said. Just so crazy. Right? I mean, she looks like the Grinch now. Well, even at the end of the Grinch, his heart grew 2 sizes, right? Or did it grow 4 sizes? Or was it 2.5 sizes that day? Charlie was all worried they were going to shave him bald. Well, you've already conquered that. He has nothing in his life, no enjoyment to look forward to. That he had all this life. He lived this great life of privilege. Well, what the heck did he do this for? Why did he put it on the line? Right? It was arrogance. It was a sense that they were above the law. It was a sense that they could do what they wanted. Right? It broke the glass. The glass. So, yep, that'll do that to you. Right? Entitlement. Okay, let's go to... Okay, so here's something. Wendi Adelson coldly dismissed her mother in an icy text exchange last month, in the immediate hours after her brother Charlie was convicted of hiring Latin King's hitman to kill Markel. The phone calls are from 35 hours of phone calls that Charlie made from the Leon County Jail to his mother Donna in the days following his conviction. During these phone calls, Donna suggested self-harm and places to flee in the country. And after listening to those calls, that's what caused the prosecutors to speed it up, old buddy, their plans to charge Donna with Dan Markel's murder. She was arrested as she was trying to leave the country at the Miami International Airport. She was boarding a flight to Vietnam, a one-way flight to Vietnam with Harvey, and she was going by way of Dubai. Neither country has an extradition treaty with the U.S., and that's something that Donna mentioned in her phone calls to Charlie. During her phone call with Charlie, she read a text exchange that she had with her daughter Wendi in the hours after Charlie's conviction. After texting Wendi that Charlie had been asking how his sister was holding up, Donna said she wrote to Wendi, "I didn't have the heart to tell him that you never called us. Everyone looks to protect you. I bet you've got a lot to think about." Okay, now think about what that said there. That's it's quite a statement there, isn't it? After texting Wendi that Charlie was asking how his sister was holding up, she said, "Wendi, I didn't have the heart to tell him that you never called us. Everyone looks to protect you. I bet you've got a lot to think about. What does that mean to you? To me, it means, this is before the mother was even arrested, but, here's Charlie convicted, going to prison for life, no chance of parole, none. And Wendi, who Charlie is ruminating that her drive past the house, this stuff with her boyfriend, Jeffrey Lacasse, this stuff has shined a light on why these people are guilty, what is going on, right? But Wendi hasn't been arrested and she's out there. So to me, it seems like the mother's given her a dig. Like, you know what? All of this that they're all going through was to benefit you, darling. And you can't even bother to call? Are you serious? And everybody is trying to protect you, and everybody is trying to keep you protected, and you probably have a lot to think about. That's what it seems like to me. In reply, Wendi texted back, "Dear Mom, I know you were upset by the verdict, but the anger directed at me is not justified. I'm not responsible in any way for Charlie's situation. I'm not guilty because I did not do anything wrong, and I was not involved in any way with Danny's death." Now, what she could mean by that, she thinks she didn't do anything wrong because she didn't pull a trigger, she didn't pay anyone, she merely said something and her family took it upon themselves. That's how I'm taking that. She then told her mother to talk to her lawyers if she wished to discuss the case, before adding she needs to be singularly focused on taking care of the boys during this difficult time. And then Donna responded, "We are your parents. We are and have always been there for you and the boys. None of what we wrote matters about the case. That's over. I just want you to know how many times Charlie is asking about you." Okay, so she's writing them off. She wants to get away from these people. She doesn't want this on her. She might be the next person running away, right? Charlie Adelson. Let's see something here. So here's some interesting information about Charlie, Donna, Harvey, and Wendi Adelson had 32 investment accounts and bank accounts between January of 2013 and September of 2016. In both June of 2014 and July of 2014, they collectively had balances that totaled over $8 million in June and July. Okay, so the Adelson Institute and Charlie's business accounts, they had about $149,000 in June of 2014 and $191,000 in July. Charlie himself had $583,000 in $731.60, and then $582,000, $140.91 in July. Charlie and Donna, they have their own accounts. Charlie and Donna, $2,272,108.61. Donna and Harvey had $4,620,000, and Wendi had $532,614.54. So, very interesting. Very interesting. So, I wonder if I don't know. Other people are wondering if Donna will plead guilty in order to save Wendi somehow, but I don't know. Charlie is ruminating pretty hard all about Wendi and her, coincidences that are just so making him look extremely guilty, right? Okay. All that, it wasn't enough. Donna had to have everything. Yeah, Donna had to have her grandchildren down there without Dan, she was very put off by Dan keeping them on a kosher diet. She didn't like that. She broke the kosher diet whenever she could. There were all sorts of things she did not like about Dan. He was just not the type of lawyer she wanted, okay? She wanted a lawyer like when he was first starting, he was in a practice in Washington, D.C. Well, she wanted that practice to be huge. That's what she wanted. And it just didn't work out. It turned into something when he became a law professor. Donna didn't want that. That's not what she wanted. She wanted this Harvard law grad to be at this very prestigious law firm in Washington, D.C. and have a very, very prestigious title, be made a partner probably, but not to go and be a law professor at a university in, of all places, Tallahassee. Okay? Donna could not see her life separated. Donna always directed her children, but with Dan divorcing, she could not place demands on him. But see, it was Wendi that was the initiator in the divorce. So that's interesting, but it was just because I don't think that Dan Markel fit what Wendi wanted. What Donna wanted for Wendi. So she was happy to have her separate from him. I don't think she was happy about that. So let's look at Charlie's house, okay? Because Charlie was speaking a lot about his house today, and they were also speaking about another house today. So let's see here. We looked at his house before. I believe this may be it. Let me see. Oh, this can't be it. Hang on, let me get this. Is it it's Whale Harbor Lane, right? Or is it Brickell Avenue? I think it was Whale Harbor Lane. Let's see. I don't remember it being here. This is kind of atrocious. Let me see if that address sounds extremely familiar as the one that, and like his friends said, his house was nothing special. He had fancy cars and things like that. But let's see here. Donna Elizabeth Harvey, Donna Adelson. Okay. So it's looking like she was a resident of 2518. 6 people have been linked to that address, and their names are Donna Adelson, Harvey, and 4 others. But she was saying, Janice was saying recently in one of the calls, there's another property she can't find. Okay. Donna Adelson. And what is the deal with Charlie and that lady Janice? Because let me see this. Not opening. Why is that? So Ruby Frankie, did she enter her plea? Let's see, how did that go? How did that go? Let's just take a look at that for a second. I haven't had a chance. I've been packing up stuff all day. Tomorrow I've got to get some other stuff done that I had to get done. Okay, so she pled guilty to 4 counts of child abuse. She pled guilty Monday to child abuse charges and will go to prison for trying to convince her 2 youngest children that they were evil, possessed, and needed to be punished to repent. She was initially charged with 6 counts of child abuse, and 2 counts were dropped under the plea deal. She stood shackled in gray. Oh, let's see a picture of what she looked like. So she turned again. So what's going to be her? Her sentencing, right? I mean, her sentence, yeah. Where is she facing? Where'd you go? Uh-oh, that's not what we want. Nope, that's not at all what we want. Where did our thing just go? There we go. Get over there for a second. Okay, so she was initially charged with 6 counts and 2 were dropped. She stood shackled in gray and white striped jail clothes as she closed her eyes and took a deep breath before she pleaded guilty to each of her first 3 charges. And on the 4th one, she fought back some emotion before saying, with my deepest regret and sorrow for my family and my children, guilty. She is going to be sentenced February 20th. She will serve a prison term and the sentences will run consecutively. Sentencing would be up to the judge. She pled not guilty to the other 2 counts. I don't know what she's up for, but I know that she, let's see what happened here. In the plea agreement, Ruby Franke admitted that she tortured her son from May 22nd through August 30th by forcing him into hours of physical tasks, summer work outdoors without adequate water, and repeated and serious sunburns that blistered. He was denied food, and he was given very plain meals. He was kept away from other people. He was not given access to books, notebooks, or electronics. When he tried to run away in July, his hands and feet were regularly bound, sometimes with handcuffs. So he had tried to run away prior to that, huh? At times, ropes were used to tie together and secured his hands and feet as he lay on his stomach, lifting his arms and legs off the ground and injuring his wrists and ankles. She also admitted to kicking her son while wearing boots. Wow. Holding his head underwater. Oh my gosh. And smothering his mouth with her nose, smothering his mouth and nose with her hands. Wow, Ruby Franke. He was also told that everything that was being done to him were acts of love. She acknowledged similarly abusing her 9-year-old daughter by forcing her to work outside, to run on dirt roads barefoot, and go without food and water. How come nobody saw this? She was also repeatedly told she was evil and possessed, and that these punishments were necessary for her to be obedient and repent. And these things were being done in order to help her, according to the plea agreement. The girl was convinced what her mother said was true. Wow, that's crazy. Boy and Frankie's daughter was taken to the hospital. And Jody Hildebrand, what is she doing? During Ruby Franke's incarceration, she is actively engaged in an introspection that has allowed her to reset her moral compass and understand the full weight of her actions. Ms. Franke is committed to taking responsibility for the part she played in the events leading up to her incarceration. The boy said that Jody put the ropes on his ankles and wrists, and they used cayenne pepper and honey to dress the wounds that were caused by the ropes. Okay. Hildebrandt has agreed not to see patients. Well, how is she going to see patients? She is freaking in the jail. Her next court hearing is December 27th. Her attorney did not immediately issue any statement. That's horrendous. And so I'm wondering what kind of prison time she can get, huh? What's going on with that? I don't know. I wonder how much she can get. Hello?
Hi.
Hi. We're live, you know, right?
No.
Oh, we are.
Okay.
Okay. Just making sure. Let me see here now. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder how much time she can get for that. Where's Farm Wife? I came in late. Did you discuss Donna's childhood? I'm so interested. This comes from somewhere. Oh, her childhood? She was in New York City. She went to Queens College. She got her BA in education. She became an elementary school teacher in 1973. They moved to Florida. I want to find out some more about Donna's very, very early life, as if she had siblings. What was she like? I'm going to have to do some more digging on that. I'm going to have to dig a little bit deeper to find that stuff. So it might take another day or so to find that, to see what's going on with Donna's early life there. Let's see. What was she like? I'm going to have to do some more digging on that. I'm going to have to dig a little bit deeper. Find that stuff. So it might take another day or so to find that, to see what's going on. Al?
Yes.
You're playing YouTube?
I was trying to see exactly what we're talking about. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay. We were talking about Donna Adelson and everything. What, were you sleeping?
Oh, okay.
Did you fall asleep?
Before.
Okay. All right. So, let me see. I don't know what. Oh, I have to open my email and see if I had anything. It's 1:11. Yay. If we don't have our guest ready to go, I'm probably going to get off because I'm extremely tired, and maybe she'll be on tomorrow night. We have Rosemary on, so I have a busy day because I had to get a bunch of stuff done. Let me see here.
What an amazing woman she is.
Yes. Okay, let me see now. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Tomorrow night the panel is going to be 9:45. So please try to make that. Okay. Let's see something right here. What did I get here? Okay. I need to know. Hold on, I just have to go. White Angel, I'll get tracking numbers tomorrow. Jimmy is, he handles that part of that. So I will have to get that to you. Okay? Okay. But your other package is ready to ship out. And it includes the present that was bought for you. So that'll be nice. Okay, yeah. And if you've ordered anything from me, I only have Christiane. You're the last one that I've got to finish up with, but there are some requests that are there. I don't know if you've seen them. If you would take care of that, I'd appreciate it. I want to get all this stuff out. Then I want to get all the shipping stuff away for the holidays and start putting my home back a little bit into home without that stuff around there, without the auction. Okay, so I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. But I'm glad almost everything is shipped out, and I've shipped out to you guys. A lot of you haven't even paid me yet, and I shipped out to you anyway. So I'd appreciate if you'd settle up your accounts. All right, and I think that let me see, where are you guys? Here. Back here. Love you reading. Yes, I will do more, Kate. Yes, I will. But right now, I think I'm going to maybe do some painting or something to unwind a little bit to get off.
Good.
But I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe I'll come on and do or I'll do something in the afternoon because I'm going to go back to doing my 2 videos a day. All right. So we will see you later. Thank you guys. Oh no, we have to do word cookies. I almost forgot. Kevin wasn't here to do it. So let me do the word cookies. All right. Let me gotta put this over here. Come on, stop. Okay. Hello, Kevin. You came out for the word cookies, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
December 19th. Get out of here. It's not December 19th. Oh my gosh. I remember December 19th and I was going into labor putting up my Christmas tree.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, but I didn't go. They said to me I was going to. I think they stripped my memory, but I still, until the 24th.
Oh, brother.
Yeah. But I remember putting up the tree and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Is the tree up with the lights and the ornaments now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but I want to put up, I have to put up at least another 2 trees. Well, at least another one. My one in the kitchen that I put certain ornaments on. And I want to see, maybe I'll put up the other one, maybe I'm not. My kids are like, they're like, don't worry about it. Like, just, it's enough ornaments. Otherwise, you're going to have to take them down. I'm like, that's not even any of they're just very easy to please. It looks good.
You guys, everyone's working so hard to get the packages out.
Yeah, my packages I got a lot done today.
Yeah, everyone's trying so hard. Working constantly. You've been listening, Kevin? All right. Hi, Kevin.
Nod. And it would be. We did fun. We did that. Nod. Old? Oh, I didn't even see old. Yeah.
Word cookies.
Oh, right. Old. Found. Hi, Murder of Crows. Good to see you back. And you're a new member. Very good. Fond. Yes, I'm fond of you. I am foul, loud, full. Murder of crows. On. Undo. Yeah, I was looking at undo.
Flounder. No.
Flounder. Undo, and then one more. We got fold, right? Fold, fond, foul, loud, lond, no, lund, no. Oh, where's all our people? Fund, fund. Yeah, perfect. Very good, Margot. Remit. Okay, exit. Okay. Term. X. Mixer. Item. Okay. Met. Email. EMT. No, mixer muter, I tried that already. Emu, I tried that. Remix, that might work. Okay. Miter. Extra word. Exit I already got. Mute. Rut. I think we did rut. Did we do rut? We didn't do rut. Rut. Okay. Okay, rut. And then RU. Rum. Okay, and then RU. Oh. Try. Oh, trim. Trimming the tree. And I tried tux. Already have a mint. Let's see. No more 3 letters, okay. Emit. I think we tried emit, but it... Oh, I thought we did emit. Okay, one more. Mixer. Mixer, muter, miter. I tried that. Hi, this says hard. We can't get this one right here, right? Huh? Mixer. Medi. Merit. I was just going to say that. Merit. I just was putting that down. Merit. We both got it. Word of God. Murder of crows. We got it. Merit. Yes. Go us. We're doing a good job. All right, well, I think I'm going to call Creed, Apollo Creed. Yeah. Do you cred? I think I did cred. Yep. Crude. Yay. Okay. All right. Well, end this. I'll see you guys tomorrow. God bless. Prayers. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.
Hi, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you later.